Honey Badger here. I got a confession to make. My wife is a pot addict, and I'm a bit of a pot addict too. I'm going to show you what I mean. See what I mean? Pots. More pots. More pots. Pots up there. Pots over here. Pots over there. Pots everywhere. So the other day we noticed one of our expensive pots was broken, and it was a pretty expensive pot, hundreds of dollars. And so, being like Honey Badger, I decided I'm going to try to fix this thing instead of getting rid of it. It had a crack about an 1/8 inch long all the way down from the top to the bottom, and I'm going to show you which one it was. It's the first one I showed you here. This one right here. Now, I have already fixed this pot, and I didn't think about making the video until after I fixed it, but I'm going to show you what I did. As you can see, it had a really bad crack running from the top all the way through. Probably one more winter and it might have broken right in half. And this thing, like I said, was very expensive, so I wanted to try to fix it. So let me tell you what I did. First of all, I had to empty it out, obviously, and you can see all the buckets of stuff that I got laying around. It was mostly filled with rock. That pot over there was sitting in here upside down to kind of take up some of the space. We had an artificial tree inside this pot, which is leaning over there. And so we emptied it out. The next thing I did, it still had about an 1/8 inch gap all the way down. So I took a hose, put it on a high pressure nozzle setting, and just sprayed this out as much as I could to get any dirt that might be in there. And then I let it sit for 24 hours to dry out. And actually, while it was sitting here, the gap kind of closed up just naturally from just sitting there with nothing in it. And so in order to repair this, I had to take a flat blade screwdriver and push this apart and shove a flat blade screwdriver in here to get that gap back. And then the next thing I did was I used some construction adhesive, clear construction adhesive, and just pushed it in all the way along here, up and up and up. Tried to squeeze it as hard as I could to get it into the gap, and cut a small opening here so it just doesn't, it would mostly get into the gap and not get all over the pot. And once that was done, pull out the screwdriver, it's closed up a little bit, and then I wanted to really close it up quite a bit, so that was where I had to get some of this rope, and I'll show you what I did here to kind of hold this thing tightly closed for 24 hours while this cured. First thing I did was tie a knot to make a loop at the end of this rope. And the next thing I did was bring it around here and then through the loop, and then made another knot to make it a little bit loose going around the pot. I'll show you that in a minute. So now I've got this rope. It's kind of loose, and it's tied over here. You've got a good strong knots here that are just going to tighten as I tighten this up. So what I did is take a piece of pipe You can use a piece of pipe, tree branch, anything long and straight, PVC pipe, and stick it in here. Stick it in here like so, and then just start turning it. And as you turn it, you can see that it's already tightening. You're going to want to put it around the biggest part of the pot and just keep turning this until that gap tightens. I'm just gonna, since I've already glued it, I'm just gonna show you this example here. But you'll keep turning it until you can close that gap. And then you got to hold this for 24 hours. So the next thing I did was take a C-clamp and just put it over the edge of the pot, and I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. So that's what I did with the C-clamp. And it just holds it up against the C-clamp and keeps it from untwirling. So I got this thing tightened up really good, and a bunch of the stuff kind of oozed out, and so I just spread it all along here with my finger all the way up to the top and kind of pushed it in and spread it around, try to get that in there, and let it sit for 24 hours, and that is pretty much it. It seems to be holding okay. We'll see how it does when I put something back in it. This time I'm not going to use so much rock, and actually I'm going to take a 5-gallon bucket and put it upside down in here. And then I bought some pit balls, play pit balls that you can buy to use like you've seen in playground areas or something inside McDonald's or whatever. You know, they have little balls. I bought a whole bag of 200 of those, and I'm going to pour those in here and fill this up some so I don't have so much weight in the pot. And then up above I'll use the decorative stones and everything to put it back in. But anyway, I hope this little tip helps you if you have a crack pot and you want to try to save it. You know, it's worth the cost of a tube of glue. See if it works. Honey Badger out.